Hello friend, this is Naval. Today we are going to learn how to perform a CRUD operation using a Spring Boot MySQL. Okay, and we will test those CRUD operation. We will release the REST API, those CRUD REST API, and we will test those CRUD REST API using a Postman. So basically, we need a one editor for create a project. Okay, for write a project, and one database for one database. We are using here MySQL 5.1. Okay, version 5.1. And for testing purpose, for API testing purpose, we are using here Postman. So let's start. We have to create a first we have to create a project. Basically we have a two approach to create a Spring Boot project. One is the Spring Initializer and second one is the STS. I'll prefer a STS. Okay, I'll open STS. If you don't know STS, about the STS, I'll create a one separate video for that, and I'll explain there how to create how to install STS, how to create a project there. Okay, let's launch STS. I have created a fresh uh, workspace. Okay, I have launched there my STS. Let's wait for open. It's open. Okay, let's expand. We no need this other stuff. Okay, close the dashboard. Let's create a one new fresh project. Okay, I'll do everything from scratch. uh, let's create a project. We have to create a project. We have here option file new, and there then Spring Starter project. I'll click that Spring Starter project. That by default that open this pop-up windows. There you can see here has the HTTPS, and website is a start.spring.io. If I copy that this URL, and if I go to the browser and paste it here, then you can see here launch the Spring Initializer web page. We can select here stuff like project, project build pack, Maven or Gradle, then language, then a Spring Boot version. Okay, and then dependency, then all the Spring, all the required things, and we can create a here generate project. Okay, once a project is generated, then you can import in your favorite IDE like Eclipse or STS. Okay, so open the now this time we are not using this Spring Initializer. We are directly creating project from here. Okay. I'll give the project name. Our project name is the Spring. Oh, sorry, Spring Boot with MySQL CRUD, and we are using here build pack Maven, packaging jar file, language Java, and Java version. We don't need a 11, we just need a 8, Java 8. Okay, we are for that we are selecting here Java 8. Here we have a group. We can keep as it is. If you want to change, you can change here com.demo. Okay, I'll change here. This is our project name. Artifact is nothing but our project name. This is our snapshot version. Okay, this is description is you can give whatever you want. Here I am giving here com.example.demo. Okay, let's keep it as it is. This is our package location. Let's click the next. Here we can add the required dependency. What we have to require, we have to require a Spring DevTools, Spring Boot DevTools. Okay, then we have required a Spring Web. Then we have to require for database, we have to require a MySQL. We are using MySQL. I have selected here MySQL simply. Then we have to use the JPA, nothing but the Hibernate, JPA, Java Persistence API, Spring Data JPA. We have selected this. one more dependency. If you want to use, then you can use, but for that you have to perform some configuration in your IDE. I'll explain, I'll tell how to perform, how to configure that in any another video. Okay, that is nothing but Lombok. Where we use this Lombok, I'll explain. We will see in this video. Okay, we have created Spring Boot dev tool, Lombok. Then we have a Spring Data JPA. Is nothing but Hibernate. Then we have a MySQL, because we are using a MySQL database. Okay, and Spring Web. Let's click the next. Okay, all dependencies should be downloaded from here, and let's click finish. Your project is getting started. Okay, it's the downloading required dependency whatever we selected. Let's wait for import a project. Till that we can explore the few things. Okay, here we have a pom.xml. Our pom.xml file is responsible to hold the all dependency. Here if you want to add any new dependency, we can simply go to MVN. Is nothing but Maven official site. From there we can copy any dependency artifact ID and we can paste here, and that dependency automatically download and add your project. Is the pom.xml file. Here all details, your project name, here is your project name, snapshot, everything present in here, your Java version. Okay, and then each dependency and their version. Here also we have added a Lombok here, giving the Lombok dependency also. Okay, all these things here added perfectly. Let's first run the project. What will happen, we have to see it is running or not properly. For that you have to click right click on a project, and then here we have the run as. Then in a run as we have several options. We have to click here Spring Boot application, because this is our nothing but this is our Spring Boot application. Okay, for that we have to select the Spring Boot app. Let's click here few dependency adding. Okay, sometime it's give the not responding issue. Don't worry, it will take us some time and it will release then. Okay, let's see the console. Application is fail. Why application is fail to configure a data source URL? Because we have added here, we have added one dependency. Which dependency is a MySQL, but we didn't define anywhere. We didn't configure our database. So for that we have to configure database. Here in a Spring Boot, here here configuration handle Spring application, Spring Boot application. We don't need to define a configuration here. We just need to define some few parameters. We have one file for that, application.property. Let's resource under resource folder, there has a one application.property file. Let's open that file. Here is a nothing. You can type a one by one, or you can, if you have already any project, you can just go there and copy from there. I have already added this few dependency in my old project. I'll just copy and from there and paste it here. Don't worry, I'll push this application on a GitHub. You will get that GitHub link. Okay, you can clone application from there. We don't need this stuff. I'll explain what we have done here. Okay, let's save. Here first we have to add the drivers. When we do the simple JDBC connection using a simple JDBC connection, that time also we have to declare their driver. Also here also the same thing, we have to define here com.mysql.jdbc.driver. Then give the our database URL, jdbc :mysql. I am using the same machine, same my database is installed in my same machine. That's why I am using a localhost 3306 is the default port number MySQL. Then we can use here any database name. I'll use here sample or same the project Spring Boot demo Spring Boot MySQL. But here we have to give the small name, everything small, Spring Boot demo Spring Boot with MySQL. Okay, I have created this database. Okay, I have to create this database. So let's save and let's copy this name. Let's go to the your database. You can use any database ID. I'll use the Navicat here. Okay, let's open. Let's create a one new database here. New connection. Okay, sorry, new connection, not new database. Here new database. Here I'll paste that name and okay, finish. My database is created here. Okay, here now here nothing, no table, nothing here. Okay, for that our database configuration is done. Let's run again this application and let's see the error is there or not. Let's run. Okay, this time something different error came. Okay, error is like JDBC connection for DDL except execution. Okay, unable to open JDBC connection for a DDL execution. Let's see, we are using here MySQL 5. Okay, our my machine installed MySQL 5, but in adding the dependency here we not define the version. It's taking the runtime, and when we define anywhere runtime, that's by default taking the latest version. So for that we have to add a dependency 5.1 version MySQL dependency. For that we have to go the browser. Here we type mvn, is nothing but a maven. Let's open. We have an internet problem. It's open the maven. Let's search the here. Okay, this one maven repository, search, browse and explore. Let's click here. Okay, once open, then type here MySQL. It's already typed. Okay, MySQL, then press enter. Here MySQL connector. Let's open this MySQL connector and here find the 5.1. Here you can take any nearby 5. Or 5.1. I'll check most maximum downloaded version. I'll take this one 5.1.6. okay, let's click here and let's simple copy this and paste it there. Okay, let's Control Shift F. Control Shift F is using for format your document. It's look nice. Let's Control S. It will build and download. Okay, again try to run application, Spring Boot application. Let's check. now this time our application is started successfully. Our configuration is done, everything, our configuration is done successfully. Now we will start the coding. So we have to create one CRUD operation. For that we will take one thing. I'll create an employee is the best way. I'll create an employee CRUD operation. So for that we have to create a few packages. Okay, and demo here, model package, and one more repository dot repo, and controller, or we can also add the services. Okay, and then controller, package controller. Okay, we have to create one model class. That model class is responsible to create a table. Okay, let's create a class employee. Here in this class we define @entity. Java X persistence. Okay, and then we define a few parameters, few attributes, we can say. Okay, let's private id, long data type id. Okay, then private name, data type is the string. Okay, and address, we will take only these three things. Okay, let's see. We have added a lambbook. Lambbook is responsible to generate a getter and setter. We don't need to add here getter and setter, just we have to add here @data. Okay, data lambbook, or we also have @getter lambbook. Okay, getter and @setter. Also provide a few no arg constructor and all arg constructor. Lambbook is the provide most of things. We will discuss about the Lambbook in any another video. Okay, if you define a data, then we don't need to separate getter and setter, also annotation. Okay, let's delete this. Control shift F, control shift O. What do? It's take only the required package, and other package it will remove. Just press the control shift O. Okay, and then save. Also we need here define id. Id is nothing but this is our unique things, this is our primary key, that's why we are defining here id. Okay, then we have to generate this id automatically incremented format. For that we have one annotation, generation type, generation value. Okay, generation value here, strategy. Okay, strategy generation type, dot we have auto identity sequence table. Okay, we are defining here identity. We have successfully created our employee class. We can also define here table name also at the rate. If you want to change table name, you can define here table and there can define a name. You can give here your table name like employee, but time being we are not using. We will see another next video about the all annotation. So our agenda, this video agenda is only create the CRUD operation. Okay, we have done model class. Then we have to create a one repository. Here we will create a one interface. Employee repo. Okay, click next. We use a repository for a CRUD operation. JPA basically what do? JPA is responsible to give the predefined all methods like a save, get all, get by ID, find all. This all predefined, all common things. JPA provide those method. We will export, we will extend JPA repository. JPA repository required two things. One is a model class name. Here our class name is the employee, and that model class unique ID, unique ID type. We use here unique ID type is long. Okay, that's why we are using here long type. Let's save. If you want to explore more, then you can just click, you can just control and click the JPA repository. It's open a new class. This JPA repository also extended two more things, paging and sorting repository and query by example repository. Here we have all, find all by ID. Okay, save all this required a method, predefined method. We have created successfully our repository. Then we have to create a one service class. Where is our service package? This is our service package. Let's create a one class. Add the employee service. Let's click the enter. This class is our service class. That's why I define here service. Okay. Then we need AutoWire because we are using a predefined method, and those predefined method present inside the JPA repository. Okay, present inside the JPA repository, and and our employee repository extend the JPA repository. That's why we have to create the AutoWire in employee repository. Let's create that. Employee repo. Let's create a one variable, employee repo. Okay, and add here AutoWire. AutoWire is responsible to give the object. We don't need to create an object every time. AutoWire is the giving object. Okay, then we have to define a few methods. First method is the insert all data. Insert data, public void insert employee. In this we get the employee data. That's why we are creating the employee class here, emp, and we are using a employee repository dot. Let's see here. We have all this method that provide the JPA repository. What we are using here, save, because we are inserting the data. We have here save all, save and flush. We are directly storing our object. That's why you are using a first one, save. Let's click and pass the emp. Okay, it will save the record, and we can return simply that same record, that return, and here for that we have to, okay, this is this method for insert employee. Okay, then we have to one more method, get all employee. Okay, let's create a method, public get all employee, because that means we have getting more than one employee. For that we are using here list of employee, list of, okay, and get all employee. We are passing nothing here. Okay, let's return employee repository dot find all. Let's nothing but Control Shift O, press Control Shift O. It's giving the option, we just choose here java.util.list. okay, let's imported the list package. One more thing we are using here, get by id, get employee by id. okay, then we have public single employee, that's why we are directly define here. What happened? Get by id employee. Let's return here, but we have to pass id long type. Our id type is a long. We will employee repo. We create here employee repo dot get one. We have a get one method for getting the single record. We just pass the id and we will get the single record. Then we have one more, delete record. Public void delete employee by id. okay, here also we have to pass long id. okay, delete method nothing written anything. okay, delete method written void, that's why. okay, here we can define employee repo dot delete. Here we have a few methods. We can pass all entity also. We can pass a single id also. We are passing just id, that's why we are using a delete by id. Let's press enter, and our CRUD operation is done by service side. Then we have to create one controller. That controller is responsible to communicate with the front end and back end. So let's create a one class here, class employee controller. Okay, we are defining here, this is our controller, this is our not just controller, this is our REST controller. That's why we are defining here AutoWire REST controller. Okay, then we also define here our request mapping, request mapping. Okay, here we can define here employee or any our project name, company or org. Okay, just I am giving here org, and also one thing, cross origin, because where we are accessing this API, that machine and this machine may be probably different location, different API. That's why we have to use here cross origin. Let's create a one by one APIs. First our add employee. Okay, here we define a one method, public employee add employee. Okay, before that we are passing all these things in a service. That's why we have to create a service object, and here we are using AutoWire. We are not creating object, we are just using AutoWire and passing the value. Let's create a AutoWire employee service here, and just add the AutoWire annotation. We have added here AutoWire, then we don't need to worry about the, just add the employee package. Okay, let's return here, return employee service dot, we are saving a data, we are inserting a data here. In a employee service we have created insert employee. Okay, and also we have to pass here employee data. Okay, that's why we have to create here @post. We are posting a data, that's why we are using the post mapping. Okay, then slash employee, and we will pass data in a body. We will not pass in a parameter because it's a views data, and views data we always pass in a body. That's why we have here request body. And here we are getting a data from body in a post mapping. So we are we have to get that data from URL from that. So we are using here request body annotation because we are getting a data from body. And let's create here one variable employee and emp, and we are passing that variable in a insert employee. Okay, it's done our post mapping. Then we have to get all data, data. Okay, let's create a one more method, public list of employee. Here we are getting all data. That's fine. Remember, here we are using list of employee. Okay, and here get all data. You can give any method name, that's not worry about. Let's import the package. Then we have to return a list of data. Return, we are use employee service dot get all employee. Okay, we have created get all employee also, but also we have to create here get mapping and give here URL employee. We can give a same URL each thing, but we have a different methods. When we call from post mapping, that time by default this URL will call. When we call from postman get mapping, that time they scan and they define here get mapping and then call this URL on. Okay, we have to get a one single employee. Get employee by ID. We will use here public employee get by ID. Here return employee service dot get by ID employee. Okay, here we have to pass the ID. Okay, how to get ID? Let's see. We have get mapping. In that mapping we are defining here URL employee. Also we are passing ID. From that ID we have to get the employee. For that we are using here expression language ID, and we have to get this ID in a path using a path variable @ for that we have a path variable long here ID, and we are simply passing that ID in a get by employee ID, and from that we are getting that particular record. Let's create a one more update. Here one thing remember, in a JPA we are using the same method. JPA provided the same method for update and insert. If that payload have ID, okay, I'll explain. First I'll add the method update employee. Okay, public employee update employee update employee. Okay, here we are using a return employee service dot update. Okay, insert employee. @ put mapping / employee, and here request body. Here we are using a request body because we are getting data from body. Request body employee EMP, and we are passing that simply there. Okay, I'll show you one thing. employee service. Here we didn't create any update employee method. Okay, why we don't need to create a update employee method? I'll tell. JPA provide one method common, save method. JPA provide only one method, save method. If our payload, whatever payload we are passing, in that payload have ID parameter, then it's find all record and the update the matching record ID, matching record ID, record update. It will update the matching record. Okay, so the same one method, save method, used for both purpose. It used for update as well as insert. If there is no ID, then it will insert that record. If there is ID, then it will update that record. Okay, we have created one more API. We have to create delete employee. Okay, here we will create a public void and we can return a string, public string delete employee. Okay, return, I'll not return here immediately. I'll just employee service dot delete employee by ID. Okay, here we have to delete mapping, add the annotation delete mapping, and we can define here employee slash and passing the ID. Okay, ID, we have to get this ID using a path variable, @ path variable. Okay, ID type is a long and ID. Okay, we have got ID from ID here. Then we have to return something. I'll just return deleted. Okay, just return deleted. Now our API is created here. Let's see what we have done. First we have added the required dependency in a POM file. Our MySQL dependency is a higher version. Then we go to the MUN official website and we get from there the required dependency and we add here that dependency. Okay, our dependency is done. Then we go to the application.property file. There we configure the application database. Okay, here we add the username, password, also delegation. Okay, delegation is responsible for Hibernate SQL. It's performing the SQL query, Hibernate SQL query. Okay, then we have here Hibernate DDL. DDL means nothing but a data definition language. Okay, we have a few options: create and drop, validate, update. Update is working like if already table is present, then it will update only the record. If table is not present, then it will create and then update that. This is our server port. We can define a server port. If most of time what happen, the default server port is Engage 8080 and we are not able to run the application. In that case, we can simply configure server port from here in application.property file. Okay, we have done that application.property file also. Then we create one model class. In that model class, we just create a 3 field: ID, name and address, and our ID is here identity. That's why we define here @ID annotation, and then generation type is identity. Then also I am using here Lambbook, That's why I'm using here data. Let's see, but in your case Lambbook is not working, maybe because for a Lambbook we have to do some settings in our IDE. I'll show you in the next video how to do that. Okay, so you can what you can do for time being, you can just go here, right click here, source, and generate getter setter. Okay, so we have done model class, then we create a repository. A repository is responsible for to give the all predefined methods that present in a Hibernate JPA repository. Okay, for that we have to pass their our model class and their unique identity type, unique ID type. We have done that also. Then we create one service class. Service class is creating a all method, CRUD method, insert, update, get all, and it accessing the JPA repository method and getting the data from there. Once we have done service class, then we have create here controller class. Basically whatever logic we have to write, we will write inside the service class. We don't write that logic in a controller. Controller is only responsible to for release the control API, release the REST API, or release the control API. Here we also have created all the CRUD, add employee, get all employee, get employee by ID, update employee, delete employee. Let's test this employee. I'll run this project. I'll create a right click, then run as, then a Spring Boot application. We have a save, we didn't save that. Okay, save. Let's see. Our application is started in a port number 9090. Let's first validate our table is created or not. Let's refresh here. Our employee table is created. Okay, let's open. We have only defined a 3 field: ID, address, and name. Let's go to the Postman. For that I have already opened the Postman. Let's create the one collection. If you want to organize your Postman API proper way, then each thing you have to create a separate collection. I'll prefer create a separate collection for everything. Okay, I'll just restart now. My Postman is connected to the cloud. If there is an internet issue, then it will not work. Okay, let's disconnect and again connect. Okay, it's a sync and it's a connected. Okay, I'll create a one new collection. I'll give this collection Spring Boot CRUD, Spring Boot with MySQL. Okay, I have given the Spring Boot with MySQL CRUD. Then I'll create a one by one request. First is a add request, add employee. Okay, add employee is the post method. Here we have to define here localhost. I'll just change here localhost. Let's check the what URL we have to define here. We have a define org, then employee. I'll give first org/employee. Okay, employee. We are posting data. We are posting data from body, because let's see here, we get data in add employee. In add employee we get data from body. That means we have to post data from body. That's why I'll click on a body, I'll click on a raw format, and I'll just change the text to JSON. Let's create here our name colon, I'll put my name Naval. It should be in a double quote because it's a string. Then address colon Pune. And one more thing, you have to define a same thing. I'll expand employee. This name spelling, address spelling, you have to check this spelling and this spelling is the same. Then only it pass the data. Okay, I'll click a send. I'll click save and then send. Let's see what will happen. It's a 200, means our record successfully added. Let's go to the database and verify it will added or not. Let's refresh and open the table. It's a successfully database. It's a record is successfully added in a database. Let's try one more record. I'll change here Naval to Ram. Okay, and then I'll click send. Let's check. Okay, I'll just refresh and second record also added, and you can observe here our ID is auto generating. First time is the 1, then second time is the 2. Okay, let's then okay, now our add employee REST API is working fine. Let's create a one more API for getting all data. Get all employee. Okay, this method get all employee, we use the get method. Okay, here we can use the local host and we use the just get method. Just save and send. We will get 2 record. We recently added those record. That means our get employee REST API is also working. Let's perform the get by ID operation. Let's check the get by ID URL API. Okay, okay, I'll check first get all API. Okay, we have 2 record, ID3 and ID2. Okay, I'll try to fetch ID3 data. I'll just put here 3 and send. Okay, we are getting some error. What's wrong? Let's check to the backend. Okay, check to the application. What we have, which method we have used. Let's confirm. For that, we have to go to the service class. Okay, here we have used the get one method. Okay, we will use another method. We have one more method, get one, get. Okay, or find by. We have also find by ID method. Okay, we will try that method, but this method is written. Okay, let's click here. Return type is optional. This method is written optional. Okay, also we have to change here. This data type is this return type is changed. That's why we have to change also in a for controller. Let's hover here and click change method return type is optional. Okay, let's save and go to the Postman. Let's try to hit again. Now we are getting our expected data. Now let's try to fetch second ID data and let's click send button. We are getting the second ID data. Okay, now we will perform a update operation. That's why we have to create a one more. Okay, I think internet is gone. we have seen add employee, get all employee, and get by id. Now we are performing the update employee. Let's create the one more request and write here update employee, and let's write the, it's a put method. Let's write the localhost employee url and pass whichever record you have to update, pass that record in a body. Okay, I'll just copy any record. I want to update the second number record. I'll just copy this payload and I'll paste in a here in a body. I have to update here RAM address, here Pune not, I'll put some another address Aurangabad. Okay, and just send, click the send button. I'll save and then send. We got the here response id2, name Ram and address Aurangabad. Let's check here. Let's try to hit this URL and it's updated successfully. Now let's perform the delete operation. Add request, delete employee. Here method type is the delete localhost employee. Okay, and we have to pass the id. Recently we updated the second record, we will delete that record. Okay, let's slash and put the id 2 and let's click the send button. Okay, first we will confirm how many record we have. We have a 2 record, one record id is a 3 and one record id is a 2. Now we are going to delete record id 2. Okay, let's click the send button and it's a message written deleted. Now check the record is deleted or not. Now trigger the now execute the all record API. Let's click and now we are getting only one record. That means our all API is working absolutely perfect. So we have seen this all application. I'll upload this application on a GitHub. You can get application code from there. If you like video, then like, share, subscribe. Okay, let's bye.